हमें कश्मीर चाहिए, कश्मीरी लेडीज के साथ, मर्द उसमें नहीं होने चाहिए।
घरों के बाहर लेटर्स लगते थे, आपके घर में इसको मारा जाएगा।
Either you mix with us or you leave or you die.
उसको टांगों में केल डाले थे, बोल रहे थे कि ये बूढ़े हैं, इन पर गोली किस लिए आप खारिज करनी है।
अनलिमिटेड रेप्स हुए हैं
और आयरन प्रेस से उनका टॉर्चर हुआ है।
हम कश्मीरी ऐसे मरते थे जैसे कुत्ते बिल्ली की तरह मर रहे हैं।
इन कश्मीरी पंडितों का सत्य आखिर क्या था?
Every day I want to go back, but not to a hotel. I want to go to my house.
Great to see you, and very excited here in Australia for the new venture which is coming, the Kashmir Files Unreported. So plenty to talk, and we are very eager here, and we got a small Kashmiri community here as well. So very eager to hear about this. So could you tell us more about this Kashmir Files Unreported? And as an artist, yeah, it's a very sensitive topic to work. You know, there's a lot of responsibility that lies on your shoulder to present a true picture to the audience, and it's a very difficult task. So very keen to hear about this.
So Rohit, lots of friends in Australia and New Zealand among the Kashmiri Pandit community. We've been regularly in touch with them throughout our research before the film was released, and even after that. I don't know how many times I've said this before, but I'm going to repeat it again.
Please.
We went through a very grueling research for the Kashmir Files. It took us very long because Kashmir is a very complex subject. And if you are going to uncover the truth which has been deliberately hidden for the last 33 years, it takes some amount of time to, open a few layers and try and at least take a glance at the truth. And that's exactly what happened. It took us almost 4.5 years before we said that, okay, we have enough material to make a film now. And as Vivek was writing the film, there were more testimonies which, kept pouring in when people realized that we've been approaching the community and talking to them and hearing about their personal stories and the incidents and the barbaric, deaths that some of their family members have met. A lot of them who were earlier unwilling then started coming forward. And we realized that we have this huge database of information, which definitely cannot fit in one movie. So while we still had a lot of difficulty to pick and choose the subjects, the stories which would go in the film, we also knew that we have this huge documentation of a truth that has been hidden from our country for the last so many years. And this is a great opportunity for us to present it in front of India. Having seen the kind of response that the film Kashmir Files had generated, we were more than sure that this serial will be welcomed by people. It will be viewed very widely, and I'm very glad that ZEE5 Global stepped in and decided to put this on their streaming platform for the world to watch. And
Absolutely.
We have been receiving some amazing reviews since this morning.
Very good. Look, Pallavi, Kashmir File movie, it's a history in making. It was a huge success. उसमें आपका एक मिशन था, लेकिन what is your aim and focus for this sequel? What do you want to achieve here?
Well, Kashmir Files movie basically spoke about the genocide of the Kashmiri Pandits, which was, not told to the world. The genocide was not even accepted as a genocide, which I thought was,
Yes.
all of us at the office thought that was the most cruel thing to do to the community. So while the film reiterated the fact that, yes, there was a genocide which took place, and it's high time people acknowledged it, what we are doing in the series is that we are going through the entire history, culture, and the geopolitical significance of Kashmir as a land. a lot of times we have heard some very disturbing narratives about Kashmir. There is a narrative which is going on around the world where they are calling the part of Jammu and Kashmir, which is, not occupied by Pakistan and China. They're calling it Indian occupied Kashmir, and it really breaks my heart to hear it. We don't say Indian occupied Kerala or Indian occupied West Bengal. It's a part of our nation. So we wanted to set this narrative right. So we went back, we went through more research, and we've got certain proofs which take us back to 7000 BC, which just proves that Kashmir has always been an Indic land. And people who speak about IOK, in fact, they should open their eyes and realize that it's Pakistan and China who have, in fact, illegally occupied Kashmir and not India. It is an Indian land. It's an Indian state. So that is what is coming out through this series.
Great. The Kashmir Files Unreported, how it's coming on the ZEE5 Global, and we are eager to watch. And also how difficult it is to get those first-hand stories of all the people who have suffered. There's a genocide, as you call it, in the last 30 years. Get all this history. How difficult was it? Can you tell us a little bit about this process? कैसे किया आपने? बहुत इतना जबरदस्त था.
It was very difficult, Rohit. Difficult not because the amount of time it took, but the process. Because a human being is only capable of processing a certain amount of pain. Once it goes beyond that, then, your mind stops working. You go through all kinds of psychological traumas. And it has been an extremely traumatic experience for us to hear about this horrifying stories day in and day out. So we undertook this tour of USA first, where very typically we were interviewing about 3 to 4 people a day. And to hear those ghastly stories day after day, we finished those interviews in whatever 2 months' time that we were there, then come back and then go to United Kingdom and some parts of Europe, and then again hear those stories. And then the stories were pouring out of Australia and New Zealand, and people in Bangkok, Singapore, Jammu, Pune. As you know, the Kashmiri Pandit community is scattered all over the world now. So it was, it came to a point where both Vivek and I felt that, no, we cannot hear any more stories. We cannot deal with this anymore. But as they say that when, you're on a mission, no matter what the obstacles are, you have to keep walking down the path. And we did just that. Our entire research team, our office, our family has been, our pillar of strength. They stood behind us. They motivated us to keep moving on. And finally, we managed to get as many testimonies as we could. It's more than 700.
Wow,
and,
it's a history in the making,
Absolutely, yeah. And I sometimes, Rohit, when I look back, I wonder कि ये सब कैसे किया हमने?
कैसे हुआ?
It almost seems like an impossible task when you look back, in retrospect. But I think we were chosen as a medium to get the truth out.
Well, maybe God has chosen you because हमारे पास history नहीं है. हमारे बच्चे जो हमारी next generation जो है, it's very difficult to explain हमारे साथ क्या हुआ था. But maybe one day we can tell them about this Kashmir Files Unreported on ZEE5 Global. Please जाके देखो. So
exactly.
That's
and
a good
that
part
is,
of history.
That is one thing about a docu-series on this streaming platform. Films release हो जाती हैं, कुछ हफ्ते बाद वो उतर जाती हैं. But this series is there to stay. ये ऐसा नहीं है कि आज रिलीज हुई है तो आपको आज ही देखना है. You can watch it after 10 days, you can watch it after 2 years. It's always going to be there. So even after your children grow up, if they want to show it to your grandchildren, it's still going to be there. This is a forever document.
Absolutely. Now, this film and obviously this documentary also will, it will have its fair share of criticism and appreciation. So as an artist, how do you deal with both of these aspects? You have to balance them. कैसे करते हो आप?
बहुत सिंपल वर्ड्स में बोलूं तो आदत हो गई है अभी क्योंकि ever since we decided to you know go slightly off the beaten track, हमें ये पता था कि क्रिटिसिज्म तो होगी और ट्रोलिंग
मे बी
होगी,
मजा,
ये
अब
सब
मजा आ रहा है.
मजा तो नहीं आता बिकॉज आई डोंट लाइक टू बी यू नो हाउ डू यू से nobody wants to hear negativity all the time.
Absolutely,
तो
that's
हम
right.
लोग मतलब मैं तो खैर पढ़ती नहीं ज्यादा, सोशल मीडिया वगैरह में मैं इंटरेस्टेड नहीं हूँ, तो मैं उसको नजरअंदाज कर सकती हूँ। और ये भी पता है कि जो हैं अभी जिनके कुछ अपने स्पेसिफिक एजेंडाज हैं, वो अपने एजेंडाज तो पुश करेंगे, तो उनको तो कितना भी सत्य आप बाहर लाओ तो उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है।
बिल्कुल.
मैंने कभी ये नहीं सोचा कि उनको हम लोग खुश करेंगे। हमने किसी को खुश करने के लिए ना ये फिल्म बनाई है ना ये डॉक्यू सीरीज बनाई है। वी हैव डन दिस बिकॉज वी ओ सर्टेन we are responsible citizens, and through our art we want to make a statement and do something for India. And if this can make India a better place to live in, when everybody comes to know what happened in Kashmir, and if they start saying no to terrorism, then I think we would have played our role. और कहीं ना कहीं ये जीवन फिर हमारा ऐसा लगेगा कि हाँ, हम पैदा हुए यहाँ पे तो हमने कुछ किया।
कुछ किया है, बिल्कुल
So
बिल्कुल.
that is all we are interested in. तो मैं कुछ बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देती नेगेटिविटी की तरफ।
ठीक ठीक है, ठीक. We have to be the positive person and keep on doing our work. अपना कर्म करना है. तो पल्लवी जी, आपने जो राधिका जो कैरेक्टर आपने कश्मीर फाइल्स में किया था, बस बिल्कुल ऐसा लग रहा था कि बस JNU में ही है, बस आपको ही देखते रहे हैं. बड़ी कन्विंसिंग, बड़ी, इट वाज सच अ नाइस कैरेक्टर टू प्ले. एंड नाउ आपका कंट्रीब्यूशन कश्मीर फाइल्स अनरिपोर्टेड में क्या है होगा?
So Kashmir Files Unreported is a series which Vivek and I, we are both presenting. So it is, it basically is the Kashmir that you see from our eyes and how we've experienced and how we have, how the story has unfolded in front of us. So we both are basically presenting the series to the people. So we are ourselves. I'm Pallavi Joshi. Vivek is Vivek Agnihotri in the show.
Okay. And a lot of people have watched you and they have fallen in love with your style of acting. जो आपका, it comes, portrays as a very truthful character. तो पहले की पल्लवी जोशी जो कश्मीर फाइल्स के पहले थी और जो अभी इस सीक्वल के बाद कश्मीर फाइल्स अनरिपोर्टेड के बाद, क्या डिफरेंस है आपका, in terms of your thinking?
Well, professionally, मैं ये कहूँगी that with every project you only grow as an actor, as a crafts person. So the craft of acting, of course, becomes stronger with each difficult role that comes my way. But with Kashmir Files, I think both Vivek and I have gone through a lot of change in our personal lives also. I think we've changed as people. पहले मैं तो शहर की रहने वाली हूँ, born and raised in Mumbai. तो एक जो स्मॉल टाउन लोग जो होते हैं, उन्होंने शायद जो शहरों में लोग रहते हैं उनसे ज्यादा दुनिया देखी होती है, बिकॉज एक स्मॉल टाउन का एटमोसफियर बहुत अलग होता है. हमने वो किया नहीं था. फॉर अस लाइफ इज अ बेड ऑफ रोजेस and I took everybody at face value. To me, every human being was a nice person, a very good person. I used to make friends very easily. But after this research, for the first time, I was shaken up and I realized that human beings are also capable of such horrible atrocities. What is humanism? ये इस फिल्म के बाद समझ में आ गया हमें, because we saw the inhumanity. We actually experienced it while we were talking to all these people. And believe you me, as one after the other, people were breaking down in front of us. And it was tearing my heart into pieces. And they were not breaking down because of their pain and sorrow. They were not breaking down because of what they have gone through. The reason they were breaking down was because all of them, in so many words, everybody said only one thing to us. They said, you are the only two people in the last 30 years who have come to us and asked us कि आपके साथ हुआ क्या है. I mean, इतनी भी हमें ह्यूमैनिटी बची नहीं है कि सामने से कोई हमको बोलता है कि हमारे साथ ये हुआ है. और हमने क्या क्या बोला कश्मीरी पंडित कम्युनिटी को, ऐसे तो हो ही नहीं सकता, दिस कैन नॉट हैपन. हमने उनकी बात सुनी तक नहीं. तो उसके बाद आई चेंज्ड कंप्लीटली एंड आई रियलाइज दैट वी आर नॉट एज नाइस एंड एज गुड एज as we would like everyone to believe. We are capable of great devastation. We are capable of being worse than animals.
True. And what अभी तो फिल्म बन गई है, documentary भी बन गई है, it will come on ZEE5 Global. What would you want the audience to take away from this important piece of work or recrafting of history, rewriting of history? What will make you happy?
Rohit ji, we are short of time. We'll just take one last question.
Okay.
Yeah, the main the reason we want to do this is to tell everybody that history is very important, and we cannot just forget things because they have happened 200 years ago and they have happened 300 years ago. अरे शिवाजी के टाइम पे क्या हुआ था और औरंगजेब ने क्या किया और राणा प्रताप ने क्या किया. This happened while we were living. I was a young woman when this happened. So this is not even a history which has happened like 200 years ago. This is recent. तो अगर इतनी भी हिस्ट्री पे हम गौर नहीं करेंगे तो ये रिपीट होता रहेगा. So we have to see what has happened और उससे हमको एक सीख लेनी चाहिए कि हम इस तरह से हमारे देश में रहे, इस तरह से हम अपनी न्याय व्यवस्था को बनाए रखें, इस तरह से हम अपने जो लीडर्स हैं उनके सर पे हम इस तरह से बैठें कि दोबारा ऐसी चीज होनी नहीं चाहिए हमारे यहाँ. एंड ग्लोबली मैं तो कहती हूँ कि इट्स नॉट जस्ट इंडिया, ग्लोबली people should just get up and say no to terrorism, and we should not be scared to say no.
Yeah. Well, seriously, God bless you and Vivek and all the people who have worked on this project on ZEE5 Global. I wish you all the best and waiting eagerly here in Australia, all the Kashmiri Pandits and the whole community, all the best to you. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you Rohit, और सारी community में सबको मेरा नमस्कार बोल दीजिए.
Thank you.
Australia's first Indian magazine to have a national reach, Indus Age is the largest circulated South Asian magazine in Australia with 5 simultaneous editions, 55,000 copies printed monthly, 220,000 readers, largest network of clients, undisputed leader in community news. Indus Age is circulated in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane and Perth to over 525 outlets. Grab your copy now to get the latest on the community, news from India, Bollywood, music and much more. For more info, log on to www.indusage.com.au.